Hello, good morning, time to thrive. I hope you are having a great day, whatever you are doing today, and that the sun is shining wherever you are. Here it keeps making an appearance every so often, which is very nice. I'm feeling very summery. So today I wanted to jump on and talk you through and give you a guide for how to use my starter kit for change. Woohoo! A number of you have already signed up to the mailing list and got your own kit, but it crossed my mind that sometimes when I download freebies that are 5 pages long, I don't always fully open them, or I skim read them and I don't always get all of the great stuff that's in them. So what I thought might be helpful is to do a video and talk you through the guide, and then if you have got it already, you can get cracking with it, or know that this video will be here for you whenever you want to get cracking with it. And if you haven't got it yet, then go download it, subscribe. I will put the link in the notes to this live, and I would encourage you to get it. It's a great resource for helping you plan your change and get out of the starting blocks. So what's in here? First of all, there's an encouragement about getting ready. We do need to park some of the things that we're thinking about and give positive change a bit of our time and energy. And I like to do that over a really nice cup of tea or coffee, or perhaps over a glass of wine in the evening, whatever you find really refreshing. And give yourself just a few minutes to just stop and let the things that come in and out of your mind come and go, and then you are ready to get cracking. So that can be as short as 30 seconds, so don't feel like you need to park a massive amount of time. Just boil that kettle, pop your favourite pot in your machine, pour your favourite glass of wine, and see it as a really nice time to give the things that you want a bit of attention. There's a bit of a saying in the transformation world about where your mind goes, your energy flows. And so if you're thinking about change and can give it some of your attention, then you're more likely to get the results that you want. If we just tag it on and live our lives hoping, then we often end up disappointed. So if you can give it a bit of time, it's well worth it. And then section 2 has a question about knowing about what matters to you. Now, some of you who've been in the group for a long time will have heard me coaching you through a more in-depth way of doing this. But in this guide, it just asks you to take a few minutes to write down some of the things that really matter to you, some of the values that really matter to you. So maybe that's connection might really matter to you. Maybe having lovely things around you matters to you. Maybe well-being really matters to you. Maybe authenticity and integrity. Maybe security really matters to you. Have a think. If you're not sure, then if you Google values, then it'll come up with a list of different values, and then you can go through it, and often there'll be oh, that one matters to me. Yeah, that one matters to me. Or you'll look at someone and be like, that doesn't really matter to me. So knowing what matters to you makes a difference. And there's a small spot to write that in. Then your ideas. And particularly if you print this out or you download it onto your iPad and annotate it, I've put in a little diagram for you so you can just fill in the boxes about the different ideas that you have for what you might want to change in your life in the next step and the next 90 days onwards from using this guide. Then there's a little bit about choosing your focus and thinking about why each idea matters to you. So that's the top of page 2. And which ones are urgent, which ones are important, and then somewhere to write what your chosen idea is. You're kind of drawing a line in the sand. This is what I'm going to focus on. Then we're on to, what do you need to do this? What do you need to make this change happen? And there's a prompt in here to think about your time, energy, money, and what support you might need to do it. And what do you have already that would enable you to do it? And what do you need? So having a think about that. We often call that the gap, basically, the gap in between. You might need to have some discussions with your partner maybe about where you can free up a little more time. Or you might think, ooh, I think there's an app that would really help me track my exercise. I don't have that right now, but I'm going to go and get it, for example. Then a section on breaking down your milestones. So I talked recently on my business page about milestones, and we talked about it previously in the group and in transformation time. If you are on my online course, then we will be talking a lot about milestones there and how they can be really useful for breaking down your steps. And it's that old adage of how do you eat the elephant, one bit at a time. And sometimes the change that we want to see just feels really overwhelming and too big, particularly when we all lead really busy lives. And so milestones just help us go, okay, so if that's my end destination, what are some key milestones, some key points along the way that I need to get to be able to do it? So maybe if we take, I want to be able to run a 10K. Personally don't, but just take this as an example. I know some of you in this group are runners, and a shout out to one of my uni friends, Nikki, who's been doing an awesome job with running. So you are inspiring, Nikki. Take the running example. If you want to get to 10K, if you are at 0 at the moment, then just going, oh, I want to get to 10K, you'll probably burn yourself out, get disheartened, and basically not end up doing it. If you break that down and say, okay, my first milestone is to start running once a week. Doesn't matter how long for, doesn't matter how far I go, I'm just going to run once a week. That might be your milestone 1. Your milestone 2 might be to get up to 2.5 kilometres a week. And your milestone 3 might be to add in a second run or an exercise class. Milestone 4 might be to get you up to 5K. You can see by breaking it down, those things then feel far more achievable. Oh, I'm just aiming for that. That's fine. That's definitely doable. And because it feels within reach, it's a gentle stretch, but it feels within reach, you're more likely to do it. This has turned into a video about milestones. Anyway, so there in this pack is a chance to write down your milestones, what you're thinking. And then there's a section on your 90-day plan and some different approaches to that. We've talked before in this group about how you can go for a detailed plan where you map out week by week in advance what you want to do. We've talked about how you can do it by a monthly. So there are notes in here about all of the different approaches and some sections where you can write in and kind of make some decisions and start acting on those decisions, because it is the small regular actions that make such a difference. And that's why I call the actions bit by bits, because when they're bit by bit, they are manageable and we can fit them into our days and into our weeks. And it's the regular, consistent, if we can make it, but it is the frequency. So the more you do something, even if this is tiny, the more you do it, the results will compound over time and you will get longer lasting and better results. And it's not just me saying that, no. So there are studies, and like in Atomic Habits, that's one of the things that it talks about. It's small incremental actions on a regular basis that have the biggest impact, rather than saying I'm going to go for a 5K run once a month. That's unlikely to get you, you're likely to keel over and have very sore legs, quite frankly. And well, I don't want to do that. If that's your approach and it works for you, fine, but it's more likely to work of doing little bits each time instead. Then there's a section on how will you know. How will you know if you've done it? If it's something like running, it's quite easy to track. And if you've been really clear about what your actions are going to be, then you'll know, yes, I've done those. And then you want to also think about your outcomes. It's not just whether I've done the actions, but have those actions started to get me the outcomes that I want. So for example, I've been using Gemma Bray's Rock the Housework guided cleans. They are amazing. I know in some ways you feel, I've told a few people about this and they've kind of looked at me like, I'm a grown-up Laura. I know how to clean my house, and I know how to clean my house. But there is something about having someone in your ear. It's like going to an exercise class, and she just guides you through it. You don't have to think about it. And by regularly doing her cleans, our house is a lot cleaner than it was. It's incremental, and it's crept up on us. And now I'm like, oh wow, yeah, things like the kickboards are clean. So that's, you want to be checking that you're getting the results that you want out of the actions that you're doing. Then there's a little prompt about how to keep going and an encouragement to join our group, which if you're listening to this video, you will already be in the group. So I hope you find that helpful. I really would encourage you. Doesn't take very long at all, but it really will set amazing foundations for your change to embed itself and make a real difference in your life. If you give it a go, I'd love to know your feedback and how you found it. So please subscribe, grab yourself the guide and get going with your change. Or if you're already going with a change, just feed in what you're doing already into the guide, and you'll notice a difference that by following those steps, you'll be kind of accelerating basically the change that you want to see. Have a great day. Bye.